right, welcome to Jack Dodson'S Racing Insider News with Scott Allen, who's not here tonight. Scott is out hobnobbing with the rich folks up in Martha's Vineyard in Boston. He went to the Cheers place yesterday. Yeah, he had to go where everybody knows his name, but nobody knew his, and he got there.
I've been there enough.
So anyway, let's start off talking about our marketing partners that help us out so much with this stuff. S&N Communications. I want to thank Brian Morehouse and S&N Communications for coming on board. They're going to be coming on with us even more next year, so we can't wait to have them with us next year too. Fast Eddie's Barbecue. This is week number 4 that we have not seen barbecue. I'm going to have to get on his case about this. So anyway, also we do have the Papa John's pizza. It's here. I want to thank Papa John's. And if you want 25% off your online order, just put Dodson 25 up there and they will give you 25% off. Also, S&N Communications has 25% off. So you can get it either way. Mayhem Company. This is Erin. She's got a lot going on right now. I mean, tell you the truth. Erin Goodman's she's now the operations manager for the Star Super Stock Series. So she's got a lot going on. RDS, Robert Dwayne Skinnell, old Nine Toes. We appreciate him being on board this year. Hope he's doing a whole lot better, and we'll be with him soon. Hopefully he'll be at the track soon. All right, Gator Graphics. Sammy's done a lot of stuff for us too, and we appreciate everything he's done. Southampton Motor Speedway, the drift track, and now they're doing go-karts up there. So that's a pretty big deal for them, with hopes of being able to move into cars within the next little bit. So we'll see how that works. Robert Rummels and this Mosquito Joe. Everybody got to have Mosquito Joe. Do you have problems with pests in your yard, like what, mosquitoes and flies and ants?
Terrible is everything.
Just mention us or the Speedway, and you'll get 25% off for that. Pepsi, our drink of choice. Appreciate them helping us out. The man of the hour here at Langley Speedway last week, he had to go down and clean the racetrack. Hunter Waltrip with Hunter Waltrip Power Wash Solutions. And he's also part of Turn 2 Synthetics. Appreciate him getting that done for the track. Two of Scott's, I guess, marketing partners. They don't do nothing for me, so I really don't have a whole lot to say about them. I'm just kidding. Safety Clean and Performance Plus. Want to thank Langley Speedway and Bill Mullis, Terry Beluzzo, Chuck Hall, everybody for being a part of this. And we thank them for letting us come in here, and they've made us part of the family, and we're here to, help them promote the racetrack. Bondurant Brothers Distillery in Chase City, Virginia, Robert Bondurant. Got to get there and get some moonshine. I've got some at home, but, I don't bring it out very often, and I don't want Atlas to be trying it out in here tonight either. So
not before race.
No, we can't do that.
After race, we'll talk.
MPM Precision Marketing. She does. This is Tanya McAllister. She does press releases, marketing materials, social media, coaching drivers on how to do interviews and stuff like that. She does a great job, and we appreciate her being associated with us. Black Acid Racing Apparel, Bill Petroff. Thank you, Bill, and all you do for us. Slinger Speed Co. Tim Brown and them. We're going to have a big thing coming up soon. I'll let y'all know about that and what we got going on there. Factory Canopies and Fluid Logic from down at Factory Canopies give us these nice table covers, and we got chairs, but with the lighting like it is, we didn't bring the chairs. I didn't bring the chairs in tonight. So VA 811, they have been with us since before we even got started. VA 811 was with us. And of course, I said Papa John's earlier. And GAC, Great American Companies. Appreciate them being on board with us also. All right. Hey, Eddie Clark, I'm still waiting on some more barbecue, man. Tommy Jackson says he'd like to have some too because he's been busy and working and everything. He'd like to have some barbecue too.
Barbecue, man. Really lunch.
All right, let's talk about a little news from this past weekend. At the Cup race in Nashville, I think, what was it, a 300 some, what was it, 400, what was it, 400
It
something?
was a
400
Anyway, they went another 40 laps, I think, with all the restarts and stuff. Joey Logano came away with the win. That was I kind of was looking forward to him getting a win because I want to see him in the playoffs. Xfinity winner John Hunter Nemechek. In the truck series, Christian Eckes. The ARCA race was in Berlin Speedway this weekend. William Sawalich got the win. At Sobo this past weekend, they had a big old race down in Sobo, Adam. But
I heard.
that was a pretty big car tour race and everything. Yeah.
Harley Davidson 200.
Yeah, and some guy that they've been doing pretty good.
Some guy that raced here. Used to race here.
Yeah.
Or still does occasionally, yeah.
Well, yeah. When he shows up, he usually wins.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
It's
how.
been a couple weeks since we've seen him.
Anyway, Connor Hall got the win down there. Appreciate, Connor did a great job, and those guys really did well. I think Brendan Butterbean Queen finished eighth in that race, so that was a big deal. In the limited late model race at Sobo, Nathan Cruz got the win. At Florence, they ran 2 limited late model races. Cody Kelly got the first win. Darren Krantz got the second win. Down at Five Flag Speedway in Florida, the pro late model race. Kevin Harvick was in the race. I forget who all. There was somebody else in the race. Chase Elliott was in the race, but there was one more. I can't think who that was. But anyway, Bubba Pollard came away with the win, beat Stephen Nasse and Casey Roderick. So that I think he's going to be pretty good when he gets some time behind him. Bubba Pollard.
Yeah,
he's going to be pretty good. Being he's done won every darn thing else around.
Well, he was 5th at Richmond with Dale's car.
Down at Cordell, Georgia, Jet Nolan got the win. Bowman Gray in the modifieds, Tim Brown won the first race. Brian Lofton won the second race, and the sportsman Chase Robertson won. And Tim Brown, that was race win number 100 at Bowman Gray for him. I always thought Burt Myers was going to beat him to 100, but didn't work out that way. So anyway, up at Dominion Speedway, they had 2 Virginia Racer races. Connor Waddell, Little Weedy, won the first one. Peyton Lee won the second, and they had, I don't know if I have to say this out loud or not, but they only had, what is that?
Your logo's on the screen.
Oh.
Getting them some good airtime, Jack.
Oh, well, hey, that's pretty cool. Let me get back and get that off here. There we go. You can tell I'm a rookie. Anyway, in the modifieds, they only had 3 modifieds to show up at Dominion this weekend. Alan Marshall got the win. And now with our Langley Speedway Adam Wellbrock's Pit Road Roundup.
You got it right this time, buddy.
Yeah. Let's hear what you got to tell us about all the stuff happening here at Langley Speedway.
We had fireworks, Jack. Fireworks off the racetrack.
No.
Not somebody on the racetrack. Landon Burbidge showed up in the Bandos, got the win. First start for him. He's won a few racetracks.
But he's won a lot of racetracks in that band.
I saw his car was decorated with stickers. Pro 6, Travis Wall, the only driver to finish that race. Everybody else was a lap down.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, come on, why slow down now? Go on and get them all.
I was waiting for it. Legends, Charlie Beals got his first win of the year. Modifieds, Riley Music got his first career win. That was something. Mini Cup, Zach Sprouse, first win of the season, second Langley win in a row here. And Gerald Harris won in the sprint cars.
Them sprint cars are awesome out here. I tell you what,
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. So that's a pretty cool deal.
They'll be back October 26th.
All right, we got some things going on in the next couple of weeks. This Saturday night, down at Halifax County Speedway, it's the Joe Huss Memorial. Now, if you're not a dirt racer, you probably don't know who Joe Huss is, but he was here on the East Coast. He was one of the big names in dirt racing, and really, I got to know him when I was racing at Southampton, and he was kind of like my idol, I guess. Yeah, him and Tommy Jackson were my idols, but anyway.
Sorry,
Lost that privilege.
We also got the Hampton Heat coming up.
You abandoned me.
The Hampton Heat's coming up in a couple of weeks. Completely sold out. Can't get tickets. Drivers, you need to make your list of who's helping you on your cruise, and get them to Justin or Terry, whatever.
It's on our socials.
Yeah, so you got to get that done, because if you're bringing guys in with you for that weekend and they are not on the list, they will not be coming in. So you've got to have them on. So make sure you take care of that. Also got the word this week that Hooters is now out of racing business. That's that's kind of hard to believe. My son was down at Hendrick Motorsports, and it was the Hooters. They were big on the Hooters stuff and everything, and I hate to see them go out, but they're not going to be back. They're not going to be back. So that's going to be a tough thing. Carson Hosevar got a penalty today for kind of ruffling up Harrison Burton.
Yeah, I can't hit him in the right rear.
He got fined $50,000 and 25 racer points, so that's not good. Want to mention my buddy and Atlee's buddy, I guess, Aiden Zedrich was here this weekend. Good to see him. Good to see them come out. Good to have Landon Burbage here. I mean, it's really cool to see some of these new kids coming in here, and they've done pretty good. So that's unbelievable. So anyway, all right, driver of the week this week. Now, I've had a controversial thing going on with the driver of the week this week. I got told by one of the drivers he didn't want to win it.
Didn't want to
win it because he thought the other guy should have won it.
Oh.
But anyway, when you go back and add it all up, it was a tie.
Oh.
It was a tie. Riley Music and Connor Hall both had 13 votes for driver of the week. That's unbelievable. And Zach Sprouse got one. So anyway, I'm going to give them both driver of the week, co-drivers of the week. So that's pretty cool. All right, now we got Tommy Jackson. Tommy Jackson, man, let me tell you something. I heard something about you the other day. Well, no, I didn't hear about it. I saw it. You went up to Dominion and run a modified. Well, is this the first time you run a modified?
Dominion, yeah. We were in the mod. Tony still owns the car. He's had the car out here, I guess, for a couple of years at Langley. And is Marty involved with y'all's Papa John's deal? No? Okay. Marty, I guess, brought Papa John's, their team worked with them, and Marty kind of brought me in the end of last year when they were looking for a driver. We ran a couple of races out here, and then we talked about doing a couple of things this year, but it didn't really come together as much as I thought it was going to. So we just kind of planned to run the Legend, and that's what we were set in stone doing. Season fired off, really didn't think much about it. And then he called me about a month ago and said, "Hey man, you try to come up and run the modified," and kind of just fell together. We discussed it one week, and then the next week we were on the road heading up there. We didn't even get a chance to test. And really scared the car that Friday night, or maybe it was Tuesday night. Either way, that one night that week before we headed up, and ended up having a really good day.
Well, yeah, I can tell it was a really good day.
It was a really good day. Car handled fantastic. You couldn't ask for a much easier day. We had a whole lot of fun. Tony was pretty happy. The whole crew had a great time. It's a hot day. One of the hotter days. One of the first hot days of the year we had. So it was cool. Really neat experience.
Well, it's cool. I mean, are you looking at maybe some more races down the road? Maybe like the Beluso race here, or
we talked about it. The Beluso race takes a lot of funding, so whether or not that comes together, We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about just some other weekly races. We came back around Langley a couple weeks ago. Didn't run quite as good as we wanted to, so trying to make a couple changes, come back, maybe run a couple other weeknight races. We talked about going back to Dominion. I think that's going to fall on the Junior Hampton Heat night, so might have to miss that. Possibly go back up there to race. So we may run a couple more times before the year's up. But either way, it's been a really unique opportunity to get to run for Tony.
That's cool.
He's been an awesome car owner. It's been really cool. Just cool to get the opportunity to run a big car. It's not really something I thought I'd ever really get to do. In my position in life, what I'm doing, Legends has kind of been where I've leveled out, and I've enjoyed that. I've accepted that. I love driving Legends cars. So to get that opportunity and to go out and make some of it, which is awesome.
Tell me about the differences. I mean, I know there's tremendous difference between a modified and a Legends car, but is there anything you can correlate between the two?
It's still pretty thin tire on them mods. So tire control was a pretty big deal. Even up Dominion being a bigger track, you had to slow your hands down a lot. You really get up on the wheel in the Legends cars. And the modified, I really had to kind of slow myself down. I was really surprised in the big cars how much brake you had to use. That kind of caught me off guard. I really tried to roll the corner a lot like we were in Legends cars, and I figured out pretty quick you had to really get down on the brake, which just really surprised me. I never thought, even listening and watching cars out here, the guys were really using them up that much. That was a pretty unique experience up there for me. So besides that, I mean, I was able to apply most of everything I've ever known about driving cars to it, but like I said, just kind of slowing your hands down, changing your corner entries up a little bit, how you drive, a little bit stiff. Narrow wheelbase car, a little more fidgety in the Legend car than the modified. Definitely more stable car, but very fun to drive, very different. A lot sucked in, less space. Legends surprisingly feel more open to me than being tucked down in modified.
Well, I wouldn't have known that. I thought that'd be the opposite way around with that.
It does. When you're in those big cars, you're kind of sucked down in that little cockpit for the Legends. You got the windows right beside both sides of your head. So I felt personally more open inside the Legends car.
Well, tell us now, the Legends division this year seems to be really, really stacked with a lot of good people, a lot of good racers in it. So tell us how things are going for you in that race.
It is stacked all across Virginia. I mean, you go to Dominion. They've had probably 3 or 4 different winners up there, and you come down here, and I think we're up to 4 different winners down here. And in the past, most years it was rare to get up to 4 winners. Most years it was 1 or 2, if you were lucky, 3. So you're looking at just a really high quality field of drivers. I mean, I've been around a long time, and you got Cody who's been driving cars even longer than I have. Cody's always been a fantastic driver. I can't take that away from him. Duke can wheel. Charlie's doing fantastic. I told Charlie a couple of years ago he was going to be a special driver. He's just consistent. He's always up front. He's smart, puts himself in a position to win races. And even when you get outside the top 3, I know you kind of talk about a lot of the same guys every weekend, but you get back behind the top 3 or 4 dudes, and you talk about Jake Jr. and Courtney, and even some of the newer kids like Weekly. A guy running 6th or 7th at Langley Speedway can go down to some of the tracks in the Carolinas and maybe even up to some of the Northern Virginia tracks and run top 2 or top 3, without ever having been there before. So the competition level down here is just insane. I got to tell guys from out of town when they come in, you kind of got to humble yourself. They'll come in and get spanked, and it's just because the guys are so good here, all the way back through the field.
And you got a new one on there this year with Cody Carlton. I mean, he's wide open. I mean, he's a different breed.
I've been dealing with Cody a long time. He's definitely wide open. But Cody, Cody raced Legends car stuff a couple of years ago, so he's settled in a lot. He's a lot smarter than he used to be. He takes better care of his car. He's got a fast car. He's got a consistent car. And he's been there every race. He's done what he's had to do. And, naturally made mistakes. He didn't. He's been there in a position to win. And then, the other night, we didn't capitalize after, the halfway point of the race and got up out the groove, weren't as good after the restart. And neither was Cody. And Fields capitalized. And, he showed he was the best car that night. So, on any given night, I think most guys in the top 5 out here can win. It's just where you are. Lately, it seems like the restarts have played a big dictator in the races. You know, there's been races I thought we had in the bag. You just get a late race restart, and all of a sudden you're running 3rd or 4th, and it's game over. So, you know, it's just being in the right place, the right time right now, and trying not to fall back. The outside's been an absolute demon here, I think, for Legends cars. Cody's probably been one of the best cars on the outside. I thought last year Beals was probably the best car on the outside, but I won't take that away from Cody. He's been great on the top side all year. We watched some replays. He's definitely very stout out there. But Micah, another good young driver. Him and with your rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Micah's run top 5, I think, the last 2 or 3 races in a row.
Yeah.
And I was actually watching before the first caution. He was knocking down Cody's bumper this past week. So
Yeah,
doing
in the
great.
past year in the Legends, it was always you and Spencer Saunders, maybe an odd one every now and then would come in, and y'all two were out front. Gotta be gratifying to have more cars competitively, and when you go out there and win one, it has to be more because you were more, we were in a more competitive situation.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, these guys have us on our toes. I mean, I won't say it was easy by any means back then. We were still working our tails off, but I will say it brings a different aspect to it that's a little bit more fun in the shop now. I mean, you're going home, you're having more of an effort in, there's more of an emphasis on getting out here and testing, and I can't do as much as we used to. We still try to get out here as much as we can and get laps in because, it's not just, you can't come out here and rely on trying to be a little better driver than somebody else. You've got to come with a great car every weekend. I mean, ask Charlie, each guy's first win of the season. If you'd asked me, he was the favorite coming into the first race, and it took until, race 6 to get a win. And he was the best car the whole back half of the last year.
And the thing about it is he was winning everywhere else. He's winning all other places, and he was having a hard time winning here. And
that's how good the field is.
Yeah, that's really good.
But you put him on the pole the first 4 or 5 races this year, he might win all 5. You know what I mean? He's that good. It's just track position and being in the right place at the right time. We've been fortunate enough to qualify at front each race, and that's been one of my strong suits. And, unfortunately, we haven't been able to capitalize on a lot of those. Some of them our own fault. Some of them I felt were taken from us, but it is what it is. You live to race next week. But, those guys are all perfectly capable of winning every week, and it's not going to be his last win.
No.
I guarantee that. The kid's darn good, and I would not be surprised if you see somebody other than me, Cody, or Beals, who is a local, winning before the year's up. Micah, like I said, Micah was knocking Cody's bumper off before that caution came out. It's just a matter of time before he's in the right place at the right time, and one of us makes a mistake, or he just puts one on us. And the kid's been that good the last couple of races. I don't see it not happening. They've been too good.
Yeah, it has been. Randy says that the Legends are one of the best divisions out there right now, best classes out there, and produce some of the best drivers out there. I think that's pretty true. Some of the best drivers come out of that Legends division.
They always have. I think they always have. The division gets a lot of just, you get people here and there. They tell me that the cars are unsafe, they're this, they're that. There's never like a whole lot of evidence to back them up. People say they're unsafe. I'm like, well, I know more people that have, unfortunately passed away in a modified or a late model before they have a Legend car. People just hear them and they see them, they see some of the wrecks. And I've been on the receiving end of terrible wrecks. I've flipped, I've hit walls at full speed, and I've walked out and been fine.
Yeah, I can remember one of the Dominion.
I won't say I wasn't sore, but to get up and just walk out of a wreck like that, you got to be in a very, very safe car. So, I think it's a fantastic job of building safe enough cars that we could take insane hits and still get up and walk away, no problem. I've seen people break a bone here or there, but it's normally having to do with a risk getting caught in the steering wheel or a driver not taking their foot off of a gas pedal before they hit a wall or something along those lines. The cars typically do their job and crush before they ever get to the driver.
Yeah.
In the event of something like that happening. But the racing's always been top notch. Me personally, the last couple of years, I'd like to see a little bit less bumper tag. But that's just the way I like to race. But overall, when they go green, aside from the occasional late model race, I think week to week, Legends still put on the best racing at the racetrack.
And have a good field of cars every week, too. That's a good thing, too.
Absolutely. Outside of like 2005 to 2007 U-Car racing. I'll pit that against anything. probably greatest peak of racing history right there.
So what are your plans for the rest of the year? I know you're going to run here at Langley, but where have you got any plans to go anywhere else with your Legends?
Yeah, no, we wanted to. We ran Dominion a couple times to start out the year with Legends car, and ran really good up there. Led a bunch of laps. Felt like we had 2 races to get away from us that we really should have won, and then had a really poor performance to end before we stopped going back. That I really wasn't proud of. We tried some things, kind of bit us in the butt. So want to get back up there because we're gonna have Legends Nationals at the end of the year. My crew member Chad, who's been my guy all year. He's been my crew member, pretty much the only guy coming over to the shop. Only guy, my only girl be my girlfriend. So only guy coming to the shop be Chad. Chad and Joe when he came, but Chad's my main guy. He really wants to go to Carteret, so I want to get him back down there. We ran there a couple of years ago, ran second. We won a race down there probably back in 2016. Then we went back and ran second. That's the only time we've been back since. So we want to go back down there and run. It's a pretty fun track. Southern Nationals got that big race in November. Might try to get down there for that. And then I'd love to hit a new track before the year's up. I haven't really gotten around anywhere brand new recently. I know Franklin's running some races, so maybe get up and run Franklin. They seem to get a pretty good field up there. I haven't seen like a ton about it, but they've been averaging 12 plus cars. Anytime we can see that, I don't mind going to race. I don't like going to run with 4 or 5 cars, but we can get a field over 10 and kind of make it worth the trip. Trying out somewhere new is pretty fun. So we'd like to get up there and give that a try.
So who all? You said you got one guy helping you. Who else helped you? Anybody else help you with your car, getting it ready, or?
Like I said, Joe Barron, my girlfriend Sydney helps a ton. She actually does more than I think most girlfriends do on a race car. She's absolutely fantastic help. She's helped me load more times at 1 in the morning than most girlfriends should. To be honest with you. She should probably be sound asleep. She is out there like a trooper. Chad Jinks, those are my main racetrack people. Cooper, who races with us, Ryan Cooper, he helps a lot too. And then I got great sponsors with me a long time too. Of course, my parents. My parents have always supported me in racing, and I've been really lucky with that because everything we've always done has been centered around family, and that's really important to us. It's kind of one thing I've always really liked about driving my own cars is how our team's built around family.
Yeah,
and that's always been super important to us. So my mom and my dad, Jamie Price with Grass Whackers, Danny Edwards, he cuts all the windshields for Legends cars. Danny's glass. He started cutting for me a couple of years ago. So we can order them, but every year I always look forward to going back and getting a cut from them. Mike New with iGasm Designs. Jesse Jones, Easy Auto Newport News. We've had his stickers on the car since probably 2013. So a lot of people have been in the car for a long time. Who else? I think I'm missing anybody. That's probably about it. We've had a lot of really good supporters. That's people come in and out throughout the years, but they're probably our primary people. We've been on the ride for a lot of wins, a lot of races.
We want to see you come back here and run that modified again. We want you to come back and do that.
We'd like to. We want to come back. We want to run good. I think we got a really good car. I just think we need to make a couple changes to come back and run here, man. It's a fantastic car Tony's built. Tony, Paul, and Charlie all worked really hard on that thing. And, I think we really just hit it for Dominion, which was awesome because it was a total blind race. Like I said, we scaled the car one night. We didn't test. We just showed up, and I didn't know a thing about a thing. I was up there just having a ball.
That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to race.
I didn't know if I was fast, slow, or what I was. I was having a good old time in there. I didn't know if I was saving tires or roasting tires or what I was doing, but I was doing something. Whatever I learned on iRacing, I guess. But
you do a lot of iRacing?
I used to do a bunch. Now I'm too darn busy to do it.
Yeah.
But whatever I learned when I was racing on iRacing, that's what I put towards it. But super fun track in the modified. I'll say that. Dominion is a very fun track in the modified. Langley's fun too, but Dominion is pretty cool on the bank. Up on the wheel there.
Yeah.
But a couple changes I think coming back to Langley and getting the car right here. Matt Morgan actually did the car in first practice real quick when it had new tires on it. And I think just kind of finding the right balance and get the car the way it needs to be when the tires fall off. It'd be perfectly fine. We just haven't really found how to get the car settled into the racetrack once it starts losing bite. Once we do that, I think the car will be fantastic.
Andre Grier said that was wild seeing that legend stuck in the fence at Southern National.
That was Ernie. That was my buddy Ernie. I got to Google. I don't think he'll be mad at me telling telling this, but everybody was commenting. They were telling about how the driver was hurt, and Ernie unfortunately lost. I don't know how much of it, but a portion of his leg. I think from the knee down. I think he still has his knee. Ernie's the nicest guy, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in Legends Racing. He's a good friend. Super cool guy. He owns all of Cody's cars. Ernie was racing down there, and he was who flipped up into the fence. And when I saw it, I texted. I don't think I heard back from him the next day. But people were blowing up in the comments like, "Man, he's hurt. He got out that car limping, could barely walk." And I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Ernie, just got a thick leg. You don't just walk that great all the time. That's messed up." I think that was just Ernie. They thought he was all torn up. That was Ernie. He walked. He was fine. I texted him the next day. He was good. That was a terrible wreck though.
Wow.
He landed in the fence. The closest thing I've ever seen to that was I don't think you may have not been around yet, but Connor Jones flipped on a slow car in practice on lap 1 of 2018 practice here in the Legend, and blew a car to pieces.
Yep. I remember that.
He about rolled it into the catch fence. And when we were loading the car up, I was looking at the back trunk lid, and I was like, "Where's the right rear spring at?" We found it at the top of the fence by the wood tower.
Good Lord.
rolled in the fence. I was like, Jesus, that's one of the worst wrecks I've ever seen. I've seen a super late model move a Jersey Waltz at the National too.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Heard it, felt it.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, we appreciate you being here. I know you got some other things you got to get done.
Got a lot of work. It's a pleasure.
We'll get you one, man.
We're all trying.
Yeah, we appreciate you spending some
We
time
are
with
working
us.
hard at it. We're gonna get back to it. We'll be back where we're supposed to be before long.
Alan, you can come over here and sit in the middle here while we talk to Toby Weldon.
Next big thing.
Yeah, you'll be after Toby. I'm gonna get Toby on here next, since he's sitting there waiting on me.
Boys, have a good night.
All right, man. See you later. So we'll let you come in, and you may have something you want to say along the same thing. All right, let's get Toby Weldon in here and talk to him. How you doing?
How you doing, Jack?
How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Yourself?
Oh man, I'm doing great, really. Come to think about it. So how's everything going in the fishing business?
That's not bad. I went out today, had a charter today, and I had some kids with us, and they came back happy. They caught anything from a flounder to shark and redfish, and so they had a good time. So
Tell me how you got started in that. I mean, you do the big NASCAR guy, and then all of a sudden now you're the fisherman.
it's just something I've always done. I mean, I grew up in Chesapeake. I went to high school in Great Bridge, so we always went fishing. It's either fishing or racing, and later on it's just all fishing, right? So 2018, I decided to get my captain's license. I was actually still working at the Cup car on BK racing, and figured I needed to figure my exit route out here. So I went and got my captain's license and made a plan, and tried to stick to it, which is I've been kind of veering off here lately, but that's what I've been doing. Pretty much just fishing part time. I mean, I've never really made it a full career yet, but I've always done other side jobs here and there. But here lately, I've had more time to go fishing, so about 3 or 4 days a week, I'm out fishing and taking charters out.
So are you doing anything with racing right now? Have you been doing any spotting or anything?
No, I'm not spotting. So my career, I'm not sure if you know about that, but so go all the way back to Langley back in the day. So my first time over at Langley was like 88, 89. I met a guy in high school, Jeremy Wilson, and he hooked me up. He's like, he's been my best friend today, still to this day. And we took off and went to the races, and he actually worked for John Bray building race engines back in the day back there. And then later on, I ended up working for him. So we ended up at Langley all through the early 90s, 90, 91, 92. Actually, 91, 92, I took off with Tony Rigdon, and we were racing down at Robertsonville. And
Okay.
he got out of that, and then I think he sold that car. Forget who he sold that car to, but anyways, he got out of that, and Ricky Dennis and Rick Townsend started that ARA modified, that traveling deal. I think we had about 8 or 9 races that we did. So we went out and did that. John Bray was a crew chief, and I was the helper. So I basically, he helped at 16, 17 years old. He put me on that car to work on the car during the week and get it ready for him, which hell, I was happy to do it, you know, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but he he put me on it, and we went out and won. I think we won 6 races out of 18 that year. Didn't win a championship, but it was going out and we won more races than anybody else. But we had a good time. And then after that, he quit. Tony quit racing, so I didn't really have a driver I was helping, so I kind of quit. I was at that time I was 20, 21 years old. I figured I'd have to chase something else in my life, which ended up taking off and finding a girlfriend, which I married her about 3 or 4 years later and been with her ever since. But
and she must be a prize because she's living with you. She's got to be a good person.
oh yeah, she puts up with all my stuff. So, but years later, I ran into Jeremy Brickhouse. I think it was 04 up in there's that little bar in Chesapeake, Woody's or something.
Yeah.
And I ran into him one day, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm working out at Phillips Oldsmobile as a mechanic." And he says, "Oh, you need to come to a race." I'm like, "I'm good." And he called me up a few weeks later, and he says, "Hey, I need you to drive tonight, go down to Charlotte, stay at my house, and the guy's going to pick you up at 4 in the morning and put you on an airplane." And I'm like, "For what?" And he says, "We're going to fly you out to Watkins Glen, and we're going to spot for Matt Kenseth." And I told him, I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And he's like, "No, I really want you to do this." I'm like, "Dude, I can't do this. I mean, I got a job. I'm doing this." He says, "Nah, we need you." I'm like, "I'm not interested, man. I appreciate it." And he's like, "We'll pay you $1,000 for the weekend." I'm like, "What time's that airplane take off again?" So 04, I went down, went to Watkins Glen, did that. My only job there was Robbie Reiser says, "I don't want you to come across the radio unless you see someone in a gravel trap during this lap or this lap on our pit window." And sure enough, someone put it in the gravel trap. I set it on the radio. He pitted, and I think Kenseth ended up, for some reason, I think it was 18th or something that year. I'm not sure, but that's probably the best one he's ever had back in the day. Whenever he was never a road courser for much.
Yeah.
But then Robbie ended up hiring me to do the non-companion races for trucks and Xfinity, or Bush back in the day. And then it just led from there, where I ended up having 14 good years in it. So
Yeah, I mean, you were around for a little while. Had a good run there for a while.
yeah,
And hated to see things end like they did, but you know that's one of those things.
it is. I mean, that's how it works. But I was able to do a lot of stuff. 2019, I was freelanced. Just did some stuff. I ended up working for Ryan Sieg for a while, going down to Atlanta and doing some Xfinity racing, couple cup cars here and there whenever someone needed one, something like, they came out, and did some other stuff like one-off deals. And then I got a chance to go spot the Indy 500 for Ed Carpenter Racing. So I got a chance to do that, which the only chance that I could ever do the double for the 600, which was not really the double, but we did Carb Day in Indy, and then I jumped on a plane, flew home to Charlotte, and then I spotted the Xfinity race on Saturday, jumped on a plane, flew back to Indy, and did the 500 the next morning. And that was close as I was ever able to get to the double, but at the time, their schedule would never let them have it until a few years later. But
All right, tell us a little bit about being on that spotter stand. Now I know some of the characters that are up there on that spotter stand. I know there's got to be some fun stories about some of the crazy people up on that spotter stand.
oh, everybody up there is nuts. You got to be up there. You got to be nuts to get up there, stand up in the heat all day long. But everybody up there is good people. There's guys that's been up there that was there for a long time. There's guys that are still up there. I tell you, we was at the time it was 1 of 43. Now you're down to 1 to 38 or 40 or whatever they have now. But everywhere we went, we were always joking on people. We were always joking with each other. We would hide their bags. We would tie them up, zip tie them places. I mean, in the middle of the race, we would do all kind of stuff just to have fun, just kind of take the edge off. I don't know if you can do that nowadays as much stuff, because it's as close as they're racing now with this new package. It's more like speedway racing every race you go to. Back in the day, you get spread out and you had time to mess around, So.
But you know, like I said, I know some of those folks up there on that spotter stand, and I just can't imagine being up on that spotter stand with Fat Boy and Barkdahl, Steve Barkdahl. I mean, you know, those guys were just, I mean, they were a bit different breed all the way together, all the way around. And I know that whenever you have Fat Boy around, there's something going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Donnie, aka Fat Boy, he's a good guy. He's been around for a long time. Drove motorhome, drove trucks and everything. Was up on a spotter stand, the character. I think one of the best ones was I think it was Brickhouse that was at Homestead years ago, and he got sick. I mean, it's in the middle of the race, and I don't know if he got food poisoning or what. He's over next to a trash can just to hurl on, and he gave I think Donnie, a Fat Boy, was doing a starting park at the time, and he says, "Here, take the radio." And so he turned around and grabbed a hold of the radio, and like, "You got me, Brickhouse?" And he says, "You ain't got Brickhouse no more. You got me." And he ended up finishing off the race, but yeah. But as far as racing and stuff now, I mean, I feel, you know, some of the other racing stuff I've been doing is I kind of got out of the working for teams, and I've had an opportunity in the last 2 years to kind of dabble into some F1 racing. So I've last year, 2023, I went to Miami and helped them with the track for a week, get it prepared and do some safety vehicle stuff and repair, basically track repair stuff. They invited me back for the following year, and then I actually went to Vegas for their inaugural event and was out there. So, and then I guess we'll figure out where it goes this year. But I spent 3 months in Miami again this year for their race and helping with the track and just the safety stuff. And it's a different. It was a whole lot different, you know, from working on the Cup deal, and you're always preparing the car for that week, or, you know, you get prepared to go to that track, but you never really look at what it took to get that facility ready for the team to show up. And I never really thought it was that much work, but I'm gonna tell you, it's tough.
And imagine what they're going through in Chicago this week with all that going on up there with the road course up there and through the streets. And I know that's a disaster up there for the regular person riding around out there.
Oh yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, I never really thought about it like much in the Vegas when I was out there, and I'm sure Chicago's doing the same thing. But how much traffic are you going to have to shut the roads down, and people are going to have to go around? Vegas was different, where they would shut traffic down, build the racetrack in certain areas, do their practices, and then open it back up for traffic again. So that like every 6 hours you're ripping it apart so traffic can come back, and then you build it back again. So it's tough.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty interesting that you gotten involved with that. I mean, glad to see you're still doing something with the racing stuff, even though it's a different type of racing. So I'm glad you're doing some of that.
Yeah, you know, once you get racing in your blood, you can't get away from it.
Oh yeah, Ken Schrader told me and Scott one time we were down there with him, and Ken Schrader looked at us and he said, "You don't give up racing. The only way you get racing out of your blood is die." And
that's right.
And you look at him now at almost 70 years old and still racing. So
he's a hell of a guy. I was lucky enough to spot for him for a few races. One of the times we was in Martinsville, it was fun. We were out there, and he goes in the corner and he cuts it down, and he's like, "Boys, something's wrong with this steering. It binds up right in the middle of the corner." And we're like, "Well, okay." So they bring it in and they change the steering box out of it. He goes back out and he says, "No, that didn't fix it. I get right down the corner and it still binds up." And so now they're okay. Well, we'll change the power steering pump. So they go and they put a pump on it. Goes out and checks it. He says, that didn't do it neither. So we're going to put a column in it now. So we didn't have a spare column in the hauler. We had to go up and pull one out of the backup car. So there's a guy that was up in the back, up in the hauler he's up there ripping one out, getting ready for the next practice, in between practice sessions. And he's still up there when the second practice started. Ken goes out and he says, "All right." He says, "We're a little tight here. We need to work on this." He goes, "Don't worry about the steering. I got it fixed. I know what it is." We're like, okay, well, you got us now. What's wrong with steering? He goes, well, I go down in the corner and I got that little oval steering wheel and I turn it and it gets bound up on my belly. So every time he, but that night he goes, boys, I want you guys to go out and have fun and take my credit card. So we went out, and I think there was only 6 or 7 of us, and we went out and we tried to have a good time. We brought him back the credit card and the receipt for, I think it was like $600. And he got mad. I'm like, what's so mad? He goes, boys, I told you to have fun. Don't you come back without a bill for under $1,000 and handed us the card back. I don't think we got to the $1,000 mark, but we had fun with it. That's for sure.
I bet. I bet so. Well, Toby, I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us tonight. I know you got stuff going on. The captain of the boat. You got any runs tomorrow you're going to make, or you just taking a day off tomorrow?
I'm going to take tomorrow off. It's coming up on 4th of July. There's going to be too many idiots out there. I mean, I hate to say it, but 4th of July brings a lot of people out on boats, and they really don't know how to operate them. So I want to stay away from them. So my plan tomorrow is to go out and clean up the boat and get it all nice and shined up for next week. So.
Okay. Toby, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you again, and hopefully we'll see you around somewhere.
Yes, sir. Try to get up for the Hampton Heat, maybe. But if you guys get a chance, you and Scott come on down. I'll take you fishing.
All right, man. We'll do that. We'll get in touch with you sometime we come down that way.
Sounds good.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Well, that's a pretty cool deal. I mean, he remember he was with BK Racing. That's how we really got to know him, with that BK, and that was a pretty big situation there to get to know him in. And there's a long story behind that.
Oh, we have time for that?
No, we don't have time for that. But there's a long story, and I hated he had to. I mean, that was a team that kind of went by the wayside, and wasn't really his fault that it happened or anything like that. But the owner had some issues, and that's the way it went.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, we got the cream of the crop right here, Mr. Extraordinary Atlee Weiss. You ain't got nothing to say. Come on, I know you got something to say.
Man, glad to be back here. It's been a minute.
I'm telling you. And look, you're a Pro 6 driver. You're not doing that anymore, or you gonna race that anymore?
So we said
it's not as fun.
we said we were gonna do it part-time this season, and the first 2 races, had fun with it, and it's just we just wanted to focus kind of on the limited, because I've been having a lot of fun in that, having a lot of success. But I definitely want to be back in the Pro 6 again. But because it's a fun class, it's a really good class. It's definitely a great car to move in, out of bandos or out of a slower division.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely want to be back.
Okay.
In Pro 6.
Pro 6 driver.
Check.
Limited late model driver.
Check.
Yeah, that's been a good season so far. I've exceeded my expectations in the limited. I've gotten the top 5 this season, except for last race when I got into an incident. I've been the highest finishing rookie in every single race. And
so what do you think of the difference between a Pro 6 and the limited? You say you have a front in the limited. Tell us how that,
The limited it just feels like you're flying. Now in the Pro 6, it feels like kind of you're flying through the corners, while you kind of feel like you're just waiting on it in the limited. But in the limited, you just feel like you're just like a rocket ship on the straightaways. And that's just been really fun to kind of just try to handle that much more power.
Okay, well, that's cool. Now you're up here announcing on Wacky Wednesdays. Are you doing the HRKC too, or?
Yeah, so that's been a cool deal that HRKC started. They've been doing live broadcasts, Facebook Live, and they've tapped me to do their broadcast. So that's been a really good opportunity that Chris and Jody and Tony, they've all provided me with. So that's been fun. And then, the Wacky Wednesday, Justin and Chuck and Bill, they provided me with the opportunity to do an internship. And that's been really fun every week, doing it with Adam and Dale, and just that's kind of one of the hidden gems of Langley Speedway. It's a great community of drivers, great racing every single week. So, I've really enjoyed just kind of improving my craft and just trying to, learn and improve, because, I'm a rookie this year in racing in the limiteds, but I'm still, a rookie in the booth. Like, I'm still learning every single time I'm up there, and just like seat time in racing helps you get better. The more you sit in that broadcast chair up in the broadcast booth, you can improve. So it's been great to have those experiences with Wacky Wednesday this year, and definitely have enjoyed that opportunity.
All right, let's look at all the things you're doing. Okay, what's your favorite?
Man, I can't pick a favorite. I like it all. I enjoy it all, and I mean, if I can do it all for the rest of my life, then I'll be happy for sure. Because I enjoy racing, I enjoy announcing. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoyed the sport of racing in general. I mean, if I can be a part of it for the rest of my life, then I'll definitely be happy.
So tell us how the limited deal came about. I mean,
so when I got into Pro 6, we talked to a lot of people, and it made sense as the next step. And there was a car for sale. Doug Warren was listing one of his cars. He was going and buying a new car, and everybody was getting ready for that 100 lapper race that they were doing in September, and we're like, why not buy this car? Get ready for next season. So we went on the Monday before the 100 lap race, and we got the car, and then we got it all ready. I practiced one time, and then I got in the race on Saturday. And I mean, I kept right up with the field. I think I only ran like 33 laps, but I mean, I kept up with the field, got some seat time, and I mean, I definitely exceeded my expectations in my first time. So we got back in it the next week. Unfortunately, got into a little fender bender in 3 and 4, but we got it fixed up, and we got ready, and we ran the classic for the first time. And I definitely exceeded my expectations there. I got a top 10 in one of my first ever races. So that was really cool.
so what were your expectations for this year? What are you looking at this year? What are your goals for the year?
My goal is, I mean, my big goal is Rookie of the Year. I think Rookie of the Year is definitely something obtainable that I can do. And then after that, I think it's just, being competitive and bringing the car home in one piece every single race, and just trying to see where we stack up. So if that's a 7th, if that's a 6th, then great. If that's a top 5, that's great. If we can get in the top 3, that's great. But I mean, the main thing is just continuing to learn and just try to get better and better every single week.
Well, you're doing a good job at that. So that limited late model division, or that Virginia Racers, as they're supposed to be called, that is a good division. I mean, that is a stacked division, and you're holding your own with some of those guys that have been out there doing some stuff for a while. So
yeah, I mean, in the Virginia Racers, when you're working up the ranks and you're developing, it really helps to be in a class with a lot of competitor drivers, and going from go-karts to bandos now to these Virginia Racers. I've always found myself with kind of some of the best drivers, and that's definitely been the case this year. I mean, it's a competitive field. There's been a lot of different winners, and it's just been really fun kind of chasing that rabbit, chasing those experienced guys that and good cars, good drivers. So I definitely enjoyed it.
all right, let's go back and look at the Pro 6. How does it feel to know out of the last 2 years you're the only one who's won a race other than Travis Wall in the Pro 6?
And it feels really good. That was a good day. That was one of the best days of my life when I got to stand in Dale Lemon's victory lane and celebrate. And I mean, that's a memory you never forget.
Yeah, but I mean, to beat Travis Wall, okay, yeah, he had a little problem, but that's still you won the race. I mean, that's cool. And then to say you're the only one that's done that in 2 years, maybe 3.
Longer than that.
Yeah, maybe 3 years that has beaten him.
Yeah, since Donovan won that one race when he had a fuel cell issue.
That's right, he did. Yeah.
Oh, Donovan Edwards. That's right. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I forgot about that. So the last 2 years, you're the only one that's done it. So it's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's been really good, having Travis in that division, because I'm really not sure if I maybe could have done as good as I did without having that rabbit to chase. Because I mean, I always feel like I'm faster if I'm chasing somebody. So that was really cool, because I think, running against him made me better. I don't know if I was kind of up front and leading, if I maybe would have been as fast as I was, because I had that driver to chase. So, I mean, Travis has got it figured out. He's got a great car. He's a great driver, and it's definitely been fun running against him.
Yeah, I mean, you got it going on. So what are your plans for the rest of the year? Are you looking at? I know you're looking at Rookie of the Year in the limited late model. Any or Virginia Racers? Is there any thoughts of maybe trying to get a start or two in the late models? And
Yeah, that's our plan, is to definitely try to run one or two, a few late model races, and we're targeting one late model race later this month to maybe try to run it. We've had some sponsors say, hey, you know, it'd be really awesome if you could run in the Hampton Heat. So we're starting to make some plans to maybe try to run that and just
Wow.
see what we can do.
Boom. That's a way to step right into it, isn't it?
Mic drop.
That's pretty cool that you're gonna be able to do that. That's
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to watch it now, just to be in the race.
yeah.
So,
You ain't gonna be able to sit in the stands and watch.
no,
So you go out there and run around with them. So
yeah,
that's gonna be a jam-packed field, and it's gonna be some great race car drivers out there.
absolutely. I think it's going to be, you know, a good experience for me. So, I mean, I know Tommy's on board with it. Our sponsors are on board with it. The crew's on board with it. So, I mean, and then I'm on board with it. I'm confident that I can, you know, pick it up quickly with my limited late model experience. I mean, obviously, I don't think I'm going to light the world on fire, but I think my goal is to just keep up and just run as many laps as I can.
And keep the fenders on.
Absolutely.
Because there's gonna
Yes.
be some folks out there going crazy in some of those cars.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that, you know, I can get through some of the crazy mess and just pick some spots off that way.
I think you can do it. I think you'll be able to do that pretty good. So now you thinking about doing that. Anything else down the road that you're looking at as far as going somewhere else to race, or you're going to stay here and cut your teeth here for a while and then go somewhere?
I had a lot of fun at the Thanksgiving Classic. So I mean, I think we're kind of, it's not decided yet, but I really kind of want to do that again, because I mean, I went up there and I ran top 10, and then we went back there in March and I was running top 10. And then I got into an incident there early in March where, you know, I was chasing fifth, looking to get my first top 5 ever, and unfortunately just drove it in too deep, lost the car, and put it in the wall. But Southern National is a great track. I have a lot of fun there. So, I mean, I would definitely love to make it back and run a Charger or run in their limited late model division there at the Classic.
Oh, that's a pretty cool deal. Now, you gonna get you a car and try to run it and run some of these Wacky Wednesday things too?
Man, I mean, I saw on their sign up sheet 78 is open on their number sheet. So I would love to do that. You got to be 18, so I still got 3 more years to go.
Oh man.
Yeah, but come back in 3 years and I definitely want to run.
I bet your dad will let you drive his car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
There ain't no way you're gonna drive mine. And mine ain't even as good as theirs, and you ain't driving mine either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been wanting me and Scott to come out here and do that.
You should.
They have been on our case about
You
coming out here
should.
to Wacky Wednesday and do the Wacky Wednesday thing. Now, you know, I would do it, but I'm not going to do it with Scott. Okay, that's not going to happen.
There's gonna be cones knocked over.
Well, no.
There's gonna be
See, I've been around Scott a lot to know how he is.
right.
So if I did, let's just say I got out there and was out running him or whatever, he's going to do something stupid. That's Scott's MO. I'm going to do something stupid, and you ain't going to win. So, but I told them guys, I said, look, if I go out there and I do good, you know, then I'm going to get the itch and want to keep doing.
Right.
But if I go out there and do bad, all I'm going to do is hear Scott talk trash and
Oh, you'll never hear the end of it.
oh, I know. I know I know who's going to Robbie Davis, Robbie Parker. You know, those guys. They're going to give me a fit, and I'm not going to give them that pleasure. So we need to see you get out there. So 3 more years.
Okay. Yep. 3 more years. I'll be there. I don't know what I'll be driving, but maybe something. If I have to go out there in a hybrid Camry, might have to. I don't know.
Well, what's it like to race a limited late model or junior racer and
Not having driver's
not
license.
having driver's license yet? I mean, that
It,
is so cool. To me, that's
Yeah.
cool to see that happen.
that's always the thing. If I'm doing like a meet and greet or something, people be like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm 15. Oh, I'm 14. Oh, I'm 15." They'd be like, "You don't even have your driver's license yet." I'm like, "Yeah, you can get your NASCAR license at 14." So I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to work. You can get a NASCAR license before you get your driver's license.
It's amazing to me that some of these younger guys that have come along, you and the fearless foursome out there in the late model, in the limited late model class. The kid from over in Williamsburg,
McKee?
Tristan
Yeah,
McKee.
yeah.
You know, he came over here. He at that time he was with Skinnell. Dwayne Skinnell was his crew chief, and I told.
I was the guest host, I think, that night.
Were you?
Yeah, I think so.
And he come over here, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm looking at Skinnell. I said, Skinnell, where's your driver? I thought you were bringing your driver with you. And he turned around and he said, he's my driver. And this kid was like this tall.
Yeah.
And done one big races. I mean, he's won
Oh,
some
yeah.
races.
He's
Oh,
tearing it up.
He's making all kinds of things.
And I'm sitting here going, that's your driver?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, that's my driver. I said, well, okay. Here I am, old as I am, and I can't get a ride.
It just keeps getting younger and younger. I mean, I got started when I was like 9, and that's considered late now for some of these drivers that are getting into it.
Yeah, you're getting,
Look at Jace.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like kids like 8, 7, 6. They got the juice box division in HRKC. Those kids are 3 to 5 years old.
They're jumping out of big wheels and big wheel races and going into
Jason's
Nando's.
funny.
Yeah.
I like Jason. He's funny. I was out there with him the other night.
Yeah.
He's pretty funny. Now, you had a weekend off this past weekend. So what'd you do?
I came to Langley.
I know you did. I saw you. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an addiction. Like, even if you're not here, it's like the voice is calling, like, come to Langley Speedway. So, yeah, just come here every weekend.
Yeah, I was talking with Aiden's mom and dad. Not Aiden. Yeah, Aiden's mom and dad. I was talking to Aiden, and they were talking about you were down there helping them when they had their problems. You were there. Riley Music was there. All the guys that came along during that time, y'all were down there helping him. And I was thinking at the same time, I said, Allie ain't racing this weekend. What's he doing at the racetrack?
Yeah, no, I wanted to come out especially because for the bandos, because I know a lot of people in the division, and definitely wanted to go see the Zedriches. That was really cool that they came back to Langley, and it was really cool that we had 2 drivers from North Carolina come out and run Burbage. Burbage is always competitive around like New River and Southern National, so that was really cool seeing Aiden and all the Zedriches and. Yeah, I mean, it's always cool because, I mean, I was down there a lot back in 2022, running with Dylan Spain. So, I still keep track with a lot of what they're doing on social media. Carson's doing really good in the late model, Phoenix and the Legend. But, yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix she's had some tough breaks in that Legend this year. So
Definitely.
We talked to her a couple weeks ago.
yeah, she's had some tough breaks. So that's pretty tough. All right, now I know you got 2 cars.
Mhm.
And you got 2 jobs other than that. So who all you want to thank?
Gosh.
Oh,
All right.
I knew it. I knew it had to be.
I mean, yeah. But first of all, I mean, on the driver's side, I mean, I got to thank Tommy Spencer. He's been a huge help for my development, and he's taught me so much with the car and with the driving. And I mean, I'm really blessed to have him in my corner, and I definitely hope that we can just continue to do great stuff in the future.
Well, that's cool that you have Tommy Spencer to do that because he's connected with Phil Warren and all that group. So that's may not be directly with Phil Warren, but I know he's got some influence there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Phil and Riley have also been a big help. Phil, when I was running at Southern National, Phil was my spotter, and he helped me a ton there. And in one of my first limited late model starts, just kind of learn and develop. So it's been really cool to also because I'm teammates with Riley, him and the modified, to it's kind of a package deal also, being able to talk with Phil and Riley, and
That's cool.
yeah, I mean, Tommy's
You can't get any more experience than Phil Warren.
Yeah.
That's pretty
absolutely.
cool. All right.
I mean, I gotta thank my parents. That's
a good idea.
That's good. That's definitely a good idea. I mean, my mom and dad helped me so much. Before I got into racing, they weren't really racing people, but they've both learned so much. And I mean, compared to a lot of the other track moms, I mean, my mom does so much for me. I mean, she runs my social media, and I definitely say I have one of the best social medias out of a lot of the drivers here. So she's a big help, and my dad's always under the hood helping Tommy, and yeah, definitely appreciate both of them. And then starting in Pro 6 and starting in late models, we need a pit crew. It can't just be us. So, I've had a really cool pit crew throughout this season. Gene Brinson, he's been helping us. His nephew Dylan, a guy who works, he's got a job at CALIC. His name's Alex. He's been helping us. Mason Freeman. We've had a lot of cool people, working on our crew and helping us. So it's definitely been a big help moving up into the bigger car, because you got tires to deal with, because the bigger the car you get into, the more you have to deal with. So that's been helpful to have the crew. And then, on the announcing side, definitely got to thank, Justin Kern with Wacky for, giving me the opportunity to do the internship, Bill and Chuck as well. Jody, Chris, and Tony Specchio with HRKC for allowing me to do their live broadcast. That's been a lot of fun. And then
You didn't mention that.
Oh, I didn't help him. He did it all himself.
And then I know, and it's been a lot of fun announcing with Adam and Dale, and I've definitely learned a lot, and it's just fun being up there in the booth, with you and with Dale down in there in the pits, and looking forward to the rest of the season. Definitely got some big things coming up there, and then got the race sponsors on the race car. Of course, I'm kind of known for Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina. They've been with me since day one, so definitely got to give a big thank you to them. Water Street Grill, Papa John's of Pizza of Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
Love pizza. Intensity Apparel and Broadcasting, Carolina Family Pool and Patio, Premier Heating and Air Services, Bobby's Auto Service Center, Colonial Gardens, Dayton Lease State Farm Agent, whoever that guy is.
But he's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. You need insurance.
Yeah. And you might want to make a comment like that, but I wonder how many checks he signed ahead to pay for stuff that you did.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Sign Media Incorporated, Paquette Power Solutions, Primo Transportation, Colonial Aesthetics and Wellness, Bay Custom Collision Center, Damon's Lawn Service and Landscaping, Creekside Cafe and Market, East Coast Synthetics, Body by You, The Movement, Lamb Exterminating, The Closing Shop LLC, Signature Homes LLC, Fame All Star Central, then my man Juan Grande. They've been support me, my biggest fans since go-karts.
Wow.
Yeah. Nope, nothing.
I'm just making sure you didn't leave nobody out.
Yep, nothing else there. But I couldn't do what I do without, all of my partners. So it's definitely. Oh, shoot. Forgot to mention him. And I gotta thank my spotter, Robert Hibby.
Oh. Well, if you didn't think of Robert Hibby, that's fine. Don't worry about that. I try to forget him a lot. So if you missed him, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
No, Hibby's been with us since Bandos. He's been a big help, and even if we've had when Phil was spotting for us at Southern National, he was still on the pit crew helping us out. So really appreciate Hibby, and me and him have developed and learned as a spotter driver duo. So really happy to have him on our side, and he does a great job.
Well, very good.
Hey, speaking of wands, who's gonna be in the Gloucester area anymore?
Yeah, if anybody's in the Gloucester area, definitely go to the Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina. They're gonna have a DJ on the patio from 7 to 10, 10% off, 78 tacos, Doritos, soda, and queso. And then there's gonna be some TVs on the patio with the car store race. So what better place to watch the car store race than at Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina?
In Gloucester, Jack, that's where you're from.
Gloucester. Yeah.
I'm not from Gloucester.
Oh, is that Scott? Sorry.
I'm from Southampton County.
Everybody's from Gloucester deep down in their hearts.
Anyway, well, Atlee, we appreciate you being with us, man. Thanks for coming out and being here. I've always enjoyed having you with us, so it's a lot of fun. I even had you come in here and do some co-hosting from time to time. We're going to keep doing that too. And, I got Adam here, and we're going to get Brian White involved, and maybe someday we can kick Scott out.
That's what it seems like you're trying to do. It's pretty obvious, but no. Thank you for having me on. It's been fun. Always cool to be on here. And yeah, if you see me at the track, come say hi.
We'll do it. All right, Adam, we got one more to go here. Let's get him in here.
More left.
The legend. The legend. Where's he at? Lord, look at here. He done brought a fan with him.
Yep. He's a play. Yeah, mobile with me.
You want to do it? Buddy? All right, we got Robert PELLEK. I know you're missing Scott tonight, but
Yes, I still talk. So I heard his voice today, so I'm good.
oh, you
I was
did.
down at his shop, and he called, so I got to hear him. So that was part of my good day.
Okay, you got to hear it. I mean, that's you. But so you went brand stock racing this year. How did you get started in that? I mean,
So I took a bit of time off after I retired, in the military, and just took some time off trying to figure something out, and trying to figure out whether I was going to get into the karting or was going to go into what my son was going to get in. If we were going to put him in the Pro
see,
6.
I thought this was going to happen.
So we were looking at that, and he just decided he wanted to, concentrate on school, being really responsible, concentrate on school and prep for college and do the sports. And so I was waiting to make a decision on the Pro 6, and instead, so I went out and found the Grand Stock with Nate.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I think you need to come out and do some more racing. So
That's cool.
Mr. Doug Sample, had a car, and
Who does Doug Sample not help?
Wow.
I mean, the guy is. I mean, he's always helping somebody get started,
he's
get somebody
helping me
racing.
too. He's helping me.
That's cool. So
So he had the car, and basically between him and Nate, getting me on the track and making it happen. I'm used to running the front wheel drive, so we do a couple. We got the car. We were up at Dominion for the IndyCar in the 6-hour race.
mhm.
So we got that one, and doing the front wheel, and then hopping in now for the Grand Stock in the rear wheel. I just got to figure it out. So
I mean, it's got to be a big difference from what you're jumping around to now to this Grand Stock. I mean, and the competition in the Grand Stock, them top three guys in the top, and right now the top three, they're tough.
they're
gonna be
a
tough.
different level, but I'm catching up to Nate. So, I'm right behind Nate. He's kind of slowing down so I can catch up to him. But but at least I'm seeing him once I can chase him a bit. So at least I'm on the track. I'm staying up in the top 5, trying to, and having some fun.
I see you're doing a lot better when Scott's not around.
Well, Scott really hasn't been out to the track to help me out yet. I got to rub that in there. So he's been a little
Well, you
busy.
may be better off him not being there.
Well, I don't know. He was giving me some good advice over the phone. So, at least he's telling me I'm overdriving it, so now I got to figure out.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He's telling you're overdriving something.
Yeah.
That's
the good part is that it's not stick. So, I don't have to miss, on that third pedal, like all kinds of.
he messed that up big
He
time.
messed that up. So.
Well, I mean, that's got to be fun. I mean, and your son didn't want to do it, so you came back and got you a little something different.
Yeah, got me a little something different. So, cool. But the Pro 6 is going to be out there. Might be out there sooner than with somebody else. So we'll see. So there's somebody's got some. He's got it, and we'll see what they do with it.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
so,
they need some more Pro 6s.
So they may be coming out there pretty soon. So we'll see what happens.
So are you enjoying the Grand Stocks, getting in there and doing something different?
Yeah, actually, I like it a lot. I like the fact that you get in the seat and you get on the track and the clutter goes away. It's like it goes quiet, and you just have to, in my mind, in my head, there's always noise. I got a lot of things that just are all over the place in the head. But when you sit in that car, it kind of just, you focus in on the track.
But it's like what the guys say, when you get in the car, that's your peaceful place.
Yep.
That's, you're away from everything and everybody. And when I was racing, that's exactly how I felt.
Yep.
I could get in that car and I didn't have to worry about nothing else. And it was a peaceful place.
Yep, it's quiet, you know, yeah, it's loud because of the car, but it's really quiet for me. You know, you just close your eyes a little bit, you just have you feel the car shaking a little bit, and yeah, I could go to sleep, you know?
I can't go to sleep in one, but it's a little bit more than, so are you gonna run all the old year in the grand stocks? You got
Yes.
anything else up your sleeve? I mean, I know you got a lot of things you get into. So.
Well, you know, actually, we're going to be downsizing. We're pretty much. I talked to my son today, Robbie, and we're going to pretty much offload all the karting stuff minus one setup for him. So we're gonna kind of thin out the herd on all the carts and the motors and all the stuff like that, and kind of clean out the shop a bit and just focus, bring it down to just one thing.
So are you keeping the grand stock at your shop and working on it there? Or?
Well, right now it's in my trailer right now, and that's one of the reasons we're trying to empty out the shop is because so I can put it in the shop. We got everything else, all the other between the Pro 6 is just moved out of there, but we got between the all the karting stuff and then the TSX for the road courses there, and then I just have more stuff than I know what to do with. So we're gonna thin it out and just focus on the grand stock. And if my son wants to get into the karting, we'll get back into getting into the flat kart with him. Or if he wants to hop in the grand stock later on, we'll put him in the grand stock. So
that's cool. I mean, basically you doing it to set it up for him down the road if he wants to do it.
Yep.
If he wants to do it.
Yep.
I mean,
And it gives me something to do on the, you know, it keeps, you know, I really like it. I missed being at the track. I missed the family at the track. You know, it was really nice. I mean, I mean, ultimately, it all was because of my son. Is really what I wanted to do is just spend quality time with him, and that's what we've always said with karting was, you know, it's a family. You know, and just be at the track and you know, let him experience and have some fun. And it wasn't really about me. Well, now you know that he's not going to race. I'm going to hop in. And I'm going to have some fun too. So you know.
So does he come out and help you when you're racing?
We were talking. He's between sports and everything. He hasn't been able to yet. But we're talking about today. You know, as soon as he's able to, yeah, he's going to come out. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, I can really, you know, enjoy.
Yeah, I've spent the last 3 weekends with tournament baseball, so I know how that.
Well, it's wrestling, and you know, he's got football, and you know, now he's prepping for college, and you know,
that's hard to believe.
I know. He's like when he started, he was 5 years old. You know. Now he's 17.
Yeah.
So he's got more seat time than I do. So
I'm getting older and older as it looks. Dang. So, well, I mean, it's good that you're back and got that to enjoy, and maybe somewhere along the line he'll come. And I mean, that's a lot of fun. And I'm sorry that you may have to put up with Scott every now and then. But
well, I'm hoping. You know, it's all about the I mean, Langley. For me, it's all about the family, the you know, the friends that you're hanging out. You know, it's just something that you just you enjoy being around all the people here. So.
And you know, Scott's not here, so I'm not going. I'll say it out loud.
But you know, he's probably watching. Well, actually, he's probably not.
I don't think he's watching.
Yeah, she you know, somebody else has got to. She's got him doing something.
Well, I'm positive of that. I'm almost positive of that because I've seen some of the things they've been doing. But anyway,
He went to Cheers. I saw him.
oh yeah, he was at Cheers. Nobody knew his name.
Nobody knew his name.
But I mean, Scott's a good fellow. I mean, I think the world of him. And he's really cool. And don't let nobody else tell him that. Yeah. But anyway, I enjoy being around. I enjoy giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
We do a lot of traveling where he gets me. Every time we go somewhere, he gets me somehow or other on the way.
Yeah. But Scott's also a smoozer.
You got that right.
He does work his magic, you know. And I do want to. So one of the other big things about running the Grand Stock for me is that I wanted to promote nonprofits.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So if you've seen the car, it's got Mutts with a Mission. So I retired, and I was kind of lost. Bernice Zimmerman from the Semper Fi, she's nurse case manager. I was trying to, you know, I wanted to figure out, I wanted something with a purpose. I felt like I needed, you know, I needed something.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, why don't you look at being a volunteer puppy raiser? And I'm like, I have no idea how to train a dog. or, let alone, be responsible for a dog, but starting in there and, started with Mutts with a Mission, and it's on the car. They took me in and I started with Tater, who's just a little puppy, and it's been amazing. Just amazing on what these dogs and are capable of doing and providing for you and helping you. And so they took me in. I started with the puppy raising, and it's all taken care of. And just seeing how you react or someone reacts to a dog when they see them, it's like it's just like nothing else matters. It's like, it just makes their day. I mean, anybody that owns a dog knows that.
Right.
They unconditional love. So when I'm volunteering with Mutts with a Mission, I just felt like, I want to advertise. So that, Nate was like, hey, come on back out. So that was the first thing I thought of, was putting nonprofits, helping helping military veterans and first responders. So that's what I've been putting on the car.
Cool.
And that's what I've been advertising. And I do it for free. There's no money coming into the car from it. It's all about trying to get those names out there, those that are helping others, and just give a free advertising.
And being here in the Langley area, with all the military that's in this area, that's something special that you're doing for them, to help them out. I mean, that's something a lot of veterans need, a lot of time, and I think it's really cool. And I appreciate the fact that you're doing it, because my uncle is a veteran, and he had his times and stuff, and I'm glad that you're doing something that can benefit the people like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did my 22 years, and I have my effects from it. And I haven't acknowledged a lot of them yet. But sitting and talking to Brooke and the family at Mutts with a Mission, they've been helping me a lot. And working with Tater and having the opportunity to bring the dogs, when they're in training, like today we went to an event at the base, and all we did was we brought the dogs to socialize them, and they sit with the military personnel and they just give them puppy love, and just the smiles and the things and the what you hear. Hey, this was the best part of my day, and we're losing too many first responders and too many military, and we need to work on things. And I think bringing the dogs and having that, and having the opportunity for the nonprofits to work their magic and bring the support, that the veterans or first responders don't have to worry about anything. There's somebody else to help them through the process.
Well, that's cool.
And again, back to the car. I just wanted to highlight that, and I wanted to make sure that, and I keep reaching out. If there's anybody out there that's a nonprofit, my car is open, and I would love to advertise for you.
And I think that's a wonderful thing.
That's what it's all about. It's just trying to help.
Well, from me to you, I appreciate what you've done for this country. Appreciate your service.
Thank you.
You've done a lot, and I'm sure there's other things that we don't know about, but you've done a lot, and now you're still doing it. You're still helping, so you should be honored also for that. So
I appreciate that. I wouldn't be here for quite a few of these organizations, and that's what it's all about.
So I'm glad to see everything's working out for you like
Yes.
that, and that's cool. I think that's really
Appreciate
cool.
that.
All right, got any sponsors? Anybody want to thank? Or anybody want to thank?
I wrote down quite a few. Cute little chicken scratch here. So I still have Miles with Seamless Gutters.
Right.
Vivian and team there. They're always going to be on my car. They're amazing.
Yeah,
And then Courthouse Imports. That guy. Yes.
I know that. I know that.
Gloss Gods. That's right across from Scott. Does tinting in the.
Oh yeah. I know that. Yeah.
Amazing shop. We have Morgan Wellness Center and Chicks Beach Gym. That's it's a chiropractic gym over where I live in Virginia Beach. It's also a personal trainer for my son. Amazing place. Then we have going into the nonprofits, of course, Mutts with a Mission, right there on the top. Van Hollis Forge, and Military Child. Semper Fi, Bernice Zimmerman she's my guardian angel. She's been looking out for me for quite a while. families of the wounded, and then USO, and I just any of those nonprofits. I wish I could name them all that were out there. Of course, I got to shout out to Jeffrey down Scott. He's been my pit crew helping out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
he's been there. And then Doug Semple and team, and Nate, Stephanie, Scott, Jimmy, and Hippie, and then Buck and the Hawkeye Graphics team. They're the ones that did my wrap. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
They've been doing a lot of them. Bear's been my spotter.
Oh, really?
Yep, he's been helping me out, keeping me out of trouble.
That's cool. That's
And then
good.
of course, I got to shout out to my son, Robbie.
That's right.
And then the number one, and the only one that's going to let me do anything is my wife.
Yes, exactly
Yeah,
right.
Stacey, she's
Yes,
out.
that's a good thing you
Yeah,
said that.
she's the one that enables everything. But she's the one that gets me out of trouble. Nate's the one that gets me in trouble.
I can see that too.
But I just go back and emphasize the Muttswood mission. Please, if you get a chance, go onto their website or a Facebook page, like them, and check them out. Amazing, just what they do for families and taking care of the veterans and first responders.
We got a lot of guys out here and that are military people. I think Rick Powell is going to run the night of the Hampton Heat in his truck, and I think he's going to be deployed not long after that. He's going to be deployed. We got Donald Brown. We got some guys that are in there. So it's really cool that you put a spotlight on it.
Yeah,
that helps them as much as it does you.
But if anybody's out there that needs to talk to someone, you're never alone. Just on the back of the Muttswood missions, and it says you never walk alone.
Yeah.
And it's just
No, I know.
if somebody needs a dog, if there's somebody out there that has looking to register a veteran or first responder, if you go on the info at Muttswood mission, email them. You can fill out the application. We're always looking for volunteers for puppy raisers, because without a volunteer to be able to help raise the puppy and put the love in the puppies, we wouldn't have dogs to be able to provide.
And that's a big deal to have them for their people that need something that, it gives them something to work for.
Absolutely.
And do something. Have almost like having somebody there with you to take care of.
Well, I'm putting it out that I'm also going to be, I'm trying to work out some stuff to get I'm looking to find some vets that want to be pit crew. And we'll bring a couple of guys out that may want to be part of the pit crew.
That'd be cool.
And just be a part of the team. They're looking to, just hang out the track and just,
That's awesome.
looking to find some vets or first responders
That
that want
is
to do that
awesome.
with me. So,
Nate Lundeen says, they have calling me out.
oh yeah.
I'm a troublemaker.
Well, you'll have to ask him someday about this time that we were out there and we sat down once, and we had a few margaritas, and then it was a few Day of Destruction cars later, and we were out there. And that's how that Cookie Monster car came out there. We had the Cookie Monster car for the Day of Destruction.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you coming out, Robert.
No, I appreciate you
I
having
thank
me.
you. I thank you for coming out and being a part of this tonight. And good luck to you. Good luck to they're getting all this taken care of.
No,
And,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck to the dog.
Tater. He's amazing.
All right, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody. Please like and share our show, and we'll be back next week. We're going to be talking Hampton Heat next weekend. Next Tuesday night. We're going to have Bill Mullis and Shane Laws and Vaughn Crittenden are going to be here. We're going to talk Hampton Heat and what all's going on with that. And so we'll see you then. See you next week. Bye, Adam.
Yeah, sorry about that. I talk too much.
Oh, you're good, man.